any way we could turn the machine off? Wonderful. Now it's Good morning. I'm Christian Ostermann. I direct the History and Public Policy program and the European Studies program at the Wilson Center, and it's my great pleasure, privilege to chair this first panel today at this conference on Stolen Lives, Political Prisoners in Communist Regimes. Let me say thanks to the embassy, to and also to Jerry Ellinger, who was so kind to invite me, and thanks also to Mr. Edwards for his inspiring opening remarks. We have three distinguished panelists, scholars here with us today to talk about the subject, and all I have to do is introduce them, and later on I do hope that we'll have some time for discussion, for comments and questions by all of you. Let me say I'm delighted to be here at this conference, and I think it's very important that the embassy has organized this event on political prisoners. I myself have, for the last 15 years, directed the Wilson Center's Cold War International History Project, and I have focused on the international history of the Cold War, and of course that period overlaps with the history of communism, and often we focus very much on the international side, perhaps forgetting probably not highlighting enough the domestic aspects, in particular the political repression and the victims of the political repression. So it's wonderful to be here at this conference highlighting the issue of political prisoners of the Soviet Gulag. And it's my great pleasure now to turn it over to Stephen Barnes, who who is just about to come out with a brand new book on death and redemption, the Gulag and the Shaping of Soviet Society, to be published later this spring by Princeton University Press. With that, he is an authority on the subject of today's conference. He, of course, is Associate Professor of Russian History, Director of the Center for Eurasian Studies at George Mason University, a frequent guest also for us over at the Wilson Center. So I'm delighted to introduce him here and give him the floor. Let me also say that he directed a fantastic project on Gulag, Many Days, Many Lives, Multimedia Virtual Museum exhibit on the history of the Gulag, available at gulaghistory.org. So with that, Steve, you have the floor.